Oh my goodness, I forgot one thing. Hold up. Hello! Today we're going to talk about all of the projects that I remember making in 2025. I have to add in the caveat of remember making because I made a lot in 2025. I frogged a lot and then I never tracked any of it. I have, as of August, started tracking all of the projects that I make. When I start them, when I work on them, when I finish them. It's great stats. Next year's wrap up is going to be gold. I'm gonna go through what I can remember. It's got quite a bit in it, honestly. I'm not gonna go in any kind of order because I have a pile next to me. I actually have this thing here, and what I'm wearing is something that I made last year. So we're just gonna go and have fun with it. This is the first project that I actually knitted and kept. So let me give you just a quick boop. I really like this project. I do have my computer next to me and I'll reference it for the projects that I can reference. This one I did take notes on. I was following the Fall Bluff pullover, which is a free pattern. There's a free YouTube video. This is knit. And I was using the Caram Smash Cake in the Caramel Crunch. I wear it quite a bit. I think it's super cute. You just match it with jeans. I love it. I love it a lot. This is a 100% acrylic yarn. I do see it already pilling a little bit in my armpits, but I am okay with that because I love the sweater so much. I definitely see areas of improvement. The collar is a little funky, and the raglan, not the raglan increases, the German short rows in the back, I don't remember what I did for this project, are odd. It kind of gives me a little bit of a hunchback right at the top of my neck. However, this is the first thing that I really knitted. And the reason why I say it's not actually the first thing I knitted is because I did do like a baby tee. It was going to be a sweater, but once I got done with the body part, I realized I did not like the colors. I did not like how it fit me, and it actually got used up and stuffed inside this pillow. I do have a video coming out soon of me making this sweater, and actually the first project that I'm not going to show here. Now, additionally, right after I finished this, I thought it would be super cute on projects like this, like a sweater, a big project, to have a accompanying accessory with the leftover yarn, because pretty much when I finish sweaters I almost always have leftover yarn. So I made a cute little scarf that matches my sweater perfectly, and this was not made from a pattern. I don't remember really what I did. It is knitted, and it is the garter stitch, I think, the one where you knit both sides and it makes pearls everywhere. But I did do a slight border on it. Basically, I think I did alternate the border knit pearl, and I did like barely any increases and decreases at the end. I really like it. I think it's cute. I haven't gotten to use the scarf yet, although I do wear this quite a bit. Additionally, I should mention on this sweater, because this was the first time I was ever binding off, it wasn't good. And so I did afterwards go around and I crocheted all of my edges, and I think it's super cute. It's a small detail. You really can't tell, but it's something that I have been practicing with and that I am encompassing into my bind-offs even more now. Okay, battery died. Now we're back. So those were kind of two projects that I worked on. Since we already talked about it, I also made this pillow. I have just like scrap yarn and some other random things in here to fluff it up. I need to actually like card it. I think that's the word, where you like brush it out because it's just yarn at this point, and so it's really heavy and it just kind of sags. However, this is crochet. I didn't follow a pattern, but I did reference a granny square, and I don't remember which one it is. And the back is just a regular granny square. And I got a zipper onto it. The inside is just an old pillowcase that I no longer used, and it's folded to be the exact shape so that the stuffing doesn't slip out. I rarely use this. It's just a decoration, to be honest, in this room. I thought a nice little pop of color would be cute, and it is. Originally, I will have a video coming out kind of about this. I really wasn't making this, but I talk about this project in that video. I was going to be making this into a sweater, and this was going to be the front panel, and then this was going to be the back, but I was hating it so much that I was avoiding crafting at all, and so I realized just make it into a pillow and then make the sweater that I really want, which I did make, and it is over here. That video that will be coming out soon is about this sweater. This is also crochet, and I really, really like this sweater. It's a dream sweater that I've been wanting for a while. I think that's the front now. It is crochet, like I said. It is Diablo yarn from Hobby. I think the color is limoncello. It's gorgeous. It's lightweight. I like to wear it over top of like spaghetti strap items. I wore this on my birthday to we had like a fancy dinner. I wore this for Christmas. It can be dressed up. It can be dressed down. It gives me the slightest bit of itch right here on my neckline. However, if I wear something underneath it right there, I'm fine. Everywhere else, I'm not itchy with it. A great piece to have. I'd like to make more of them in other colors. I'd like to eventually try to knit one because that was the original inspiration. Let's just go from top to bottom at this point. If you have been on my channel for any amount of time, you know this project, I rolled the dice to make this cardigan. I love this cardigan. So that's the front. This is the back. This is the African Flower Granny Square, and I used 6 random yarns that I had. Some of them were Big Twist, some of them were I Love This Yarn, some of them were Lion's Brand, some of them were Karen. It was just kind of completely random. There were 6 of them, plus the 7th was this dark chocolate brown. And so I rolled for the center, the petals, and the outline, and then all of them have the same border in the chocolate brown. The only thing is I did make this cardigan, the sleeves, way too long, and so those flower granny squares were ones that I really, really liked. That's why I put them kind of near the edge of my arm, and so I didn't want to remove them. However, it was too much. It was too much, so I folded them over and sewed them in place. I am considering undoing that at this point because it's a lot of weight and I feel like it's pulling the sleeves down. The other thing is I wish I would have put pockets on this. However, the flowers where I would have pockets are some of my favorites, and so I don't want to undo them or cover them up. So I'm a little bit conflicted there. Also, I don't think I have any more of this brown yarn left over. I think I had a very little bit and I donated it. Maybe it's just notes for the next time. I have a video going over this whole entire blanket. This is a 6-day star blanket. You can find the pattern for free on Betty McKnit's website, or you can pay for it to get the PDF, whichever you choose. And like I said, I have a video of me making this project. I really like making these. I'm actually making one right now for myself to keep. This one was not supposed to be kept. I was going to sell it on Etsy. However, I put it on I have a little chair in my craft room that I used to sit and read at. I don't get to do that anymore because the cats own the chair. And so I put it on that chair. I don't know if I was thinking the cats wouldn't bother it or what, but they love it. They cuddle up in this thing. And I don't blame them. It's very soft. Very soft. So it's kind of my cat's now. It has so much cat hair in it that even if I wanted to sell it, I just don't think I could. And it's really pretty. So I will give that to them. My one cat, Sparrow, the baby, the little black one, he curls up in it like a burrito. It's so stinking cute. Sometimes I don't realize he's there though. I won't sit on him, but I'll leave the room and I'll close the door behind me, and then I'll hear him meowing for me, and I'm like, oh, my baby! This was something that I made in past years, so this was not new to me. However, I did fix it. It used to be a cardigan, and the way the cardigan was put together, it did not sit properly on my body, and it would constantly slip off my shoulders. And so I had made extra squares. I also had an issue with the original layout because there were some like squares that were touching that were the same color. So I ended up undoing all of that and then redoing this, and I took off the collar. It had been like a mock neck and it's just kind of almost like a crew neck now. That's pretty much all that I did. Turn it into a sweater, fix the collar. I really like it. I wear it a lot. It's great for Florida because this is all acrylic. I think this is all I Love This yarn from Hobby. However, I'm not confident in that because it's been quite a bit since I've made this. The only thing I would probably still change about this now, I, at this moment in time, would knit the cuffs. Also, the cuffs are a little bit too tight right around like the wrist. It's hard to get my hand through. And then this part is like super loose. I also don't love how I stitched together all of the squares. They are single crochet attached on the inside, and so that makes it a little bit extra bulky, and it also kind of makes it almost like a quilt look. And then this one particular spot, I accidentally on the arm and the body have two oranges next to each other, but I was not about to fix that. The only other thing I would possibly consider doing is some neckline shaping because it just sits a little bit high on my neck. However, that is the thing that bothers me the least about this sweater. Highly recommend doing a sweater like this if you have not. I didn't follow a pattern. I just made 6 rows, and I think there's, what, 9 on the front, 9 on the back, and 6 on each arm. You could probably get away with different sizes though. If you're a different size than me, I made it to fit my body, and I love it. I actually wore it to go see Noah Khan, so has some good memories in there. But I wore it to see him when it was a cardigan, not when it was a sweater. I crocheted this beanie. I crochet a few beanies a year and then sell them on Etsy, or sometimes I sell them on Depop if I'm lazy. And this one though I really liked when I finished it, and I ended up keeping it for myself. So it's all scrap yarn. There's a cream color running throughout, and then there's an orange side, there's an olive green side, and there's like a navy blue side. And I just like how the colors go together, and I like how they look, and I like how I can kind of choose which side I want. I wish that it was more evenly split. I would say the orange is probably 40%, and then the other two are like 30 and 30%, whereas I wish they were all kind of an even like 33%. The orange definitely just takes up the most space. The orange might even be closer to half. I don't know. But I love it. I haven't gotten to really wear it yet. It hasn't been cold enough in Florida. I was going to take it with me on a trip for Thanksgiving when it was going to be really cold. However, I had to pack everything I was going to wear in a backpack, and I had to pack like a lot of warm stuff, and I still did not pack enough warm stuff on that trip. So this got cut. I have a full video about me making this sweater. This is my eye sweater, which I also love. Shocker. I love the things I made, and I wear this as much as I can. It is kind of hard to style. Generally speaking, I can just like put it over, I have a maroon tank top, and that's how I wear it. This has bell sleeves, and they are like bell sleeves, and I really actually like them, but it is hard to adjust to having those. And the very ends, this is my favorite detail, I mention it every time I mention the sweater, are like little roses. There's like a stem here and then like the little rose on top. I think that's such a cute detail. I'd love to do another sweater similar to this. By the way, this was all scrap yarn as well. There is a pattern you can follow to make this. I didn't follow it, so I just made my own pattern. There are some things I would probably fix. The eyeball is quite large and a little bit not quite eyeball shape now that I've been wearing it for a long time. When I first made it, it was eyeball shape. That's probably it. Then I made a cotton poncho as a beach cover-up. I was looking at a tutorial for this. Cannot tell you what tutorial I looked at. However, I did it wrong. The tutorial called for 4 points. There's little points at the bottom. However, I did 5. And I didn't notice for a really long time, and I was not about to undo the work I had done. So I just left the 5 points, and generally how I wear it is one of the points in front, and then I kind of have 2 going down my hips in the front and 2 going down my hips in the back. and it's great. It's a great little cover up. I originally wanted to like sew little like beachy things like driftwood and pearls and seashells into it, so it would be really beachy. However, the point of this was just to have like a cover up I could throw on and not worry about. So I felt like if I had all of that stuff on here, it was gonna, one, be a more elevated, fancier piece, and two, I was gonna not have to worry about like not destroying any of the stuff that I sewed onto it. So it hasn't gotten used a ton yet because it really hasn't been much beach weather. Yes, I live in Florida. Yes, it's warm all the time, but the water is cold where I live. So if it gets below freezing, it's too cold after that point to go swimming until it's like summer again, even if we have hot days. And by the way, that's not all of Florida. That's just like specifically where I live. It gets pretty cold here. One I can't show you because I gave it to my granny, and it was just a little neck cowl that I called the snowflake zigzag cowl. I think I saw the photo and I'll put it here, and it was a pattern that I made up. I made that for her before we went on our Thanksgiving trip where it was gonna be really cold because she's always freezing. I wish I could have made her something that would have been warmer than that. However, it did its purpose. And then the last project that I can remember, wait, I finished this last year. Oh my goodness, hold up. We're gonna come back to this. Is the battery dying again? Okay, for some reason, this battery and the one I just had have been charging for a long time, and neither of them were fully charged. So I gotta look into that. And the one that was in my camera is good, except I had been using it previously. So this blanket back on my couch, I just forget about it because it's more of a decoration at this point, is the Lotus blanket. I don't remember. I think it was V Crochet. Oh my goodness, this battery's dying too. Okay, let's speed run these last few projects. The only other thing I was going to say about this blanket is that I used all scrap yarn on it except for the bright pink. I did end up buying that because I thought the project was missing something. And I just picked the colors. I really love it. It's super cute. I don't use it because I am afraid to use it. I think yours shifted a little bit. A lot of it. I actually forgot I had 2 more projects after that. This is a hood that I made for myself. I did take this on my cold trip. It just goes like this, or I can take the hood off and it's like a cowl. It's more like a balaclava than a hood, I guess, but I really like it. I crocheted it, and I crocheted, I want to say there's 4 different patterns, and then actually I guess 5 because these bottom ones are all exactly the same, and this was also all scrap yarn. And then the final project, something I'm very proud of because I've been working on it for a long time. This is all from Soft and Sleek Yarn Bee. I don't remember which one it is. And these are all different granny squares that I made, and I stitched them all together, and then I knitted the ribbing. I think it's super cute. I haven't gotten to wear it yet because it literally just finished blocking. Originally it was going to be a sweater and I was going to continue different granny squares down the arms. However, I thought that would be too busy. And then I was going to just make it with white arms all the way down. And I started to do that and I hated it because the armholes were so huge. So I went back and I turned it into a vest. And what's really cool about this is I love, first off, how I compounded the crochet and knitting. There's a spot up here on the collar where it's like crochet into knit, and then the rest of the knitting is just gorgeous. But I also really love all of the granny squares except for this one right here. I don't like that one. But otherwise, it's super cute. I wish that the one right next to my neck wasn't so plain, but honestly, I feel like it's needed. I wish I would have put this one next to my neck. However, I can't wear it backwards because I put extra ribbing down here in the back and possibly at the neck, I don't remember, so that it sits properly on my body and I don't have any problems with it. I think this yarn is supposed to not pill, but I'm pretty sure it's all 100% acrylic. I like that it's really oversized. My vision is to wear it with either a black t-shirt, which is what I have on now, or a black long sleeve or a white long sleeve, or really it could be any color long sleeve that would match. But yeah, I love it. I love it so much. And honestly, while I was working on it, I would like try it on and just like wear it for a while. So I know I need to do more projects like this because I really, really like them, as you've seen. However, they take a long time, and the granny squares, like, I get into the zone of making them and then I don't want to sew them together. Ah, it's a pain. That was all I made in 2025. It was actually a lot more than I remembered making. I know I made more, however, I don't know what else I made. I don't think I made any more sweaters or blankets, though. There's one blanket that I really couldn't remember. If I have a photo, I'll put it here. Thanks for watching. I hope you enjoyed seeing all the projects that I made this past year, and I hope you stick around to see some future projects that I make because, oh boy, I have some really exciting plans for 2026.